I've caught the Hoya bug, guys. I've got it. It's too late for me now. I'm just crazy. I think I'm just plant crazy at this point. The next swap I did, oh my goodness. It's a big one. Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me already, my name is Emma and I make houseplanty content all over the internet. And today, I have a very interesting video. So I've never done this video before. I've done haul videos, like where I get a bunch of plants from a shop. I've also done like plant swap hauls where I go to a plant swap, show you what I brought and what I brought back. But I've never done like a specific trade haul video, specifically with like a bunch of trades that I've done. So some of you might know that I am trying to buy less plants in 2022. So far, it's working. I'm not on like 100% plant ban. I don't think that's what I want for myself. Mad respect to people who can do that, but that's not where I am in my collection at this point. There are some plants that if I want to get them, I'll probably need to buy them. Usually they're the more expensive or rarer ones, but just because like I don't quite yet have the like swaps for those. Like my swaps aren't quite as valuable quite yet, so it's just getting there and getting to that point. I'm working on it. But I'm not totally on a plant ban, but I'm trying to do more swapping because I think swapping is an amazing part of the plant community. Like I don't know many other like communities who just trade things. I guess that's what collectors do, isn't it? And we're all collectors of this weird hobby. So yeah, I did a bunch of trades in January and February, and I wanted to bring them all together into one video and share with you what I traded away and what I got for them, just so you can kind of get an idea about swapping and stuff like that. So I kind of mentioned on my Instagram that I wanted to swap more, and some people did reach out saying they wanted to swap as well, so that's how I did find some swaps. Also, I looked on Facebook, I messaged people. There's a couple of Facebook groups for the UK that I'm in that are about swaps, and some that are like buying pages that are like selling pages that I was like, hey, would you be willing to swap on? That sort of stuff. So that's kind of how I got these swaps. Really quick before we get into the haul, I just want to say if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up down below and let me know in the comments if you like this video, if you want to see this sort of thing more from me. If you do, put a little swap emoji, this one, in the comments down below, and that'll let me know that you like this. And subscribe for more. Right, without further ado, let's get into it. So I've written them all down on my phone so I can remember exactly what I swapped for what, because otherwise I will forget. The first swap I made was actually from one of those Facebook groups. It was from Megan, who is in a houseplant swap club Facebook group. She was absolutely lovely. I saw that she didn't want her Hoya linearis anymore because it was struggling a little bit, and she wanted to swap. And so I was like, I want a Hoya linearis, let's swap. So I swapped my Hoya australis, which I was on the fence about. I remember in my plant sorting video, my keep or sell video, I was on the fence about it. I wasn't sure. I was trying to sell it. No one was really buying. So I swapped. That's the perfect thing to do. So let me show you what I got. I want to say, I know it's not perfect and I know it's looking kind of dead. So I knew it wasn't in the best of condition when I said I would swap for it. And it does look like there is kind of only one good vine in here. So I probably will chop this and try and propagate this vine, because this one does seem really healthy and I can see there's points where the aerial roots will come from. So like, it's possible. It was worse when I got it and I trimmed it down a bunch. So I just think this plant wasn't happy. It didn't have the best of roots, I don't think. But like I said, I knew this going into it and I was perfectly happy doing this swap. So it's nothing against Megan. I knew what I was getting. But I think I am going to chop and prop this one little vine. I'll probably throw it in my prop box because that's been really successful so far. But that was my first swap. I actually ended up swapping with Megan again because she put up like another post with more plants that she wanted to swap. And I saw this plant and I was like, I need it. So for this swap, I swapped a Schinapsis Triby Moonlight runner. My plant had a couple really long runners, but I probably sent her about a meter of runner, so lots and lots and lots of nodes. I did end up cutting them up for her because that's what she wanted, and it had a couple of leaves as well, but she was basically just trying to grow her Trebby Moonlight plant into a bigger, bushier plant, so a good way to do that is by propping loads of cuttings. So basically I just sent her like tons and tons of Trebby Moonlight wet sticks, which was great. And in return, I got a global green pothos. This is one that I have been wanting for a minute now. I only really discovered it quite recently, but I think it's really cool. I think the variegation on it is pretty interesting. It's not like any of my other pothos. And normally I don't go for like green and green variegation, but when it's pothos, it's like, why not? Like, they just grow so easily, so like I may as well. And I do really love it, and it's like super happy. I think it's like 2 cuttings in this pot, and so far it has grown a couple new leaves on each of the stems, so I'm super excited about this, and I'm like, I love it so much. So the next swap I did was a little bit of an unconventional one, and it was with the Tropicorner on Instagram. We were thinking about doing a swap, but we were kind of struggling to find something that she wanted from me. I didn't have the plants that she wanted to swap, which was totally fine. That's totally normal. You're not gonna have a plant for everybody. But then I was posting stories about my Grow Vertical moss poles, the ones I've been like absolutely obsessed with from Australia. And she was like, how do I get them? I want some. And I was like, oh, got an idea. Instead of you buying them from Australia, what if I swap you some moss poles for the plants instead? So I swapped 2 Grow Vertical moss poles, the like pro ones, for these next 2 plants. The first one is this Syngonium Milk Confetti. It's dripping in my hand. I had just watered it, but oh my god, look how pretty it is. It's got like these gorgeous pink splashes on the leaves, and it's doing so well. It's like a pretty decent sized plant. But yeah, it's a gorgeous little milk confetti. She wasn't really a big fan of Syngoniums, and so that's why she was willing to trade it. Not trade down, because it's not a trade down if you both agree that it's like fair, but you know what I mean. I felt like I was making off like a bandit for the swap a little bit. But that being said, if their plants have value to some person more than they've got value to somebody else, then that's the good thing about swaps. Like, it's a bartering system. Okay, I'm gonna put this down because it's dripping literally all over me. The other plant in that swap was this Syngonium Gray Ghost cutting. It is actually doing so well. I've just got it in some water, and look at this little root it's got in there. That basically formed since I've put it in water, so I'm really proud of it. I'm not sure if this is a middle cutting or what, but I just love these leaves. Like, they're just so beautiful. How can you resist like a silvery leaf like that? You all know that that's like my favorite type of plant. So I just got this one propping in my little water jar, and it's super happy, and so I'm really excited about it. This was one of my first like funky Hoyas. It's getting me into the Hoya bug. I've caught the Hoya bug, guys. I've got it. It's too late for me now. Again, from Instagram, the next swap I did was from Only Plants Alicia, and I traded some Cebu blue cuttings for my Syngonium Frosted Heart. It's just a little baby plant right now. It is very small. This new leaf is new since I've had it. It seems super happy, and I'm like super excited to watch it grow those like really big frosty heart-shaped leaves. Like, oh, they're just so pretty. I'm obsessed with them. Like, if you can't tell, I've become like a bit of a Syngonium kind of gal lately, in addition to my Hoya craze and my philodendron craze. I'm just crazy. I think I'm just plant crazy at this point. I've got a craze for all of them. I want them all. But yeah, super excited about this one. I'm super excited about all of them, let's be honest, but I'm just so happy with this one. It's such a little tiny little plant, and I'm like, it's doing so well, so I'm obsessed. The next swap I did, oh my goodness, it's a big one. So I cannot believe the kindness and generosity that Kim, plant principal, has. She is the kindest, sweetest plant collector. I've never seen so much like generosity in a collector, which is like the sweetest. So basically, she sent me a big long like list of videos that had like everything that she had available for swaps, and said, I'm really easygoing and just happy to swap for a thing, and feel free to say that you want everything. And I'm like, no, I can't possibly do that. And she said, I also know that some people are funny about this, but if later you sell it or whatever, I don't care. If it makes you happy for 5 minutes, great. I think that is like the most amazing sort of philosophy. That's how I feel about it. Like, if I'm giving you joy for 5 minutes, that's fine. If you sell the plant down the line, I'm not gonna be offended. If you trade it on, I'm not gonna be offended. That doesn't bother me at all. Like, as long as it's made you happy, or if it's helping you get another trade or get something in your collection, like, that's perfectly fine with me. So like, I just can't believe the kindness that she has. So for this trade, I traded my Anthurium pulcachense, the one I got from Equigenera. It's kind of not really a common Anthurium in the UK, so I think that's why she really wanted it, because I haven't really seen it being sold here, and she's a big Anthurium collector, so I think it did make sense and she did really want it. And so there's a list of things that I got from her. So generous, it's like absolutely insane. The first thing that I knew I really wanted was a Philodendron Splendid, and this is just a little cutting in some moss and perlite. I don't really want to pull it out because it's happy, but it's got some roots in there, which means it's doing pretty well. Eventually I'll probably get a new leaf out of it. It does have a little new growth point there that's looking like it's starting to put out something, which means she's gonna grow more stuff. But a little Splendid, which is a Melanochrysum and Varicosum hybrid, so it's just gorgeous. A Monstera Siltepic, I can never say this, Monstera Siltepicana. This beauty here, and basically it's a Monstera, type of Monstera that I've wanted for a little bit now. I think it's got some gorgeous leaves. I like the sort of veination on them. It's just different for me. I've not seen loads of them around, so I'm very excited about it. Again, I'm not gonna pull it out. And on this one, you can't really see, oh, there we go. You can see roots right there, right there. So it's obviously happy where it is, so I'm just going to be leaving it how it is for a little while, letting it just root in moss for a little while longer, living its best life. Oh, also, almost all of these have been living in the IKEA cabinet. The Linearis has not, and the Global Green Pothos has not, but everything else has just been living in the IKEA cabinet because that's kind of the best place for it, in my opinion. High humidity is really good for cuttings, so that's where they will stay. Also from this swap is this Philodendron Varicosum No ID. We weren't exactly sure what type of Varicosum it is. I don't really care what type of Varicosum it is. Varicosums are just gorgeous, and like, look how perfect this leaf is. It's like literally a perfect heart. How can you not frickin' love it? But this one again is doing pretty well in some moss and perlite. And this one I actually can't see any roots, but I know they're in there somewhere. I'm just really excited, and probably I'll try and put this on a moss pole at some point because it's quite small. It's kind of a good candidate for a moss pole, and Varicosums do love to climb and they'll produce really large growth if they're on a moss pole, so it just makes a lot of sense. But yeah, really stoked about this. And then last but not least, whew, we're still not done with Kim's swap, right? Like, mind literally blown at how generous she was. The last thing that she sent was some Monstera dubia. There's actually this one and another one as well, but the other one I put inside of my prop box, which I've got in here actually. I'll show you in a second. But yeah, I've just put This is the container that came in, and they were kind of stacked on top of each other for shipping. That's not really conducive to growth, so I made this a single container, and the other one is somewhere else. Let me see if I can show you if it's got any roots on it. It's not got loads, but it's not got none either, which is good. I've kind of struggled rooting dubayas. I'm not exactly sure why, but they've just been a little bit more difficult for me than some other plants. It's just how it goes, isn't it? So I'm hoping these ones with bigger leaves give me a better shot, because I've pretty much only had ones with quite small leaves, but big leaves. How can you argue with big leaves? So the final swap for this little swap haul I did with Robin, aka London Plant Hoe on Instagram. I swapped a Milano Chrysum top cutting for a Painted Lady top cutting. So this is the little cutting. It's got some roots coming off there, just like aerial roots, and what looks like some new growth coming out of the top cutting portion. Yeah, so we swapped for that. We just met up. Most of these were male swaps, and then this one we actually got to meet in person. So we just did a bit of a swap, and now this guy is living inside of my prop box. There's another Monstera dubia in there, which is the one from Kim. But yeah, this is just living in the prop box, and hopefully that'll help it root. I think that's the fastest way I can get this to root, because everything I've put in this box is just like gone crazy. So why would I not put this in? Because I want it to go crazy. Let me just tuck her back in there, back in the box. That's my little trading, swapping plant haul. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed doing swaps, and I think it's just such a good way to like expand your collection without, one, spending money, and two, I'm giving stuff away as well. So it's like, for the most part, equal numbers of things changing. Of course, different things have different values to different people, and so the numbers might not be exact, but it's like, I just feel so good about it, because you're sharing with the community, and like I can share plants that I have that I don't necessarily want, or that somebody else wants more than I do, for plants that I want more than them. So it's just such a loving thing, and you get to talk to more planty people and stuff like that. So I just find it so fun, and this was another big reason why I wanted to do my plant swap in London in April. So if you didn't know, I'm planning a plant swap in London in April, so I will put that information down in the description. If you want to come and meet some planty people and bring some swaps and swap them, that's the perfect place to do it if you're local to London. If you're not, I'm really sorry. I can't have plant swaps everywhere, can I? But yeah, that was my little plant swap haul. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below, and like I said at the beginning, put this little swap emoji in the comments to let me know that this was something that you'd like to see from me again, that you'd want to see me do more trading, swapping hauls, because I found it really fun. Also, if you're in the UK and you want to do a swap with me, hit me up, holler at me on Instagram, and maybe we can sort something out, because trading is fun. So yeah, just let me know, and maybe we can do a little swap. Yeah, and subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!